Hey guys, what's going on today? It is your boy T-O-B-Y, also known as Smithboi Reviews. And today, it is a brand new video. Or should I say, it's a juicy one. Let's get into it. So, 2 months ago, I ended up doing a brand new video towards the stepping stone of my Steelbook collecting career on YouTube and also entertaining you guys with it all. Now, 2 months passed. It's, you could say it's expanded since the last ones. Because obviously, if you guys haven't seen the video, I will put the link in the description below. But if you have, you'll understand that I had probably about 5 Steelbooks, and then that was it. End of video. This time, it has, well, let's just say it has gone into the double figure mark. Now, you may notice in said video coming up that one of the Steelbooks I have actually done a reaction and review towards the unboxing. So I do apologise, obviously, if you have seen the video where I have actually done the review, you hear and you repeat, I do apologise. Anyone else that hasn't done the honours of seeing the video, I'll also put that also in the link description box below. But yeah, let's get into it, guys. I'm looking forward to it. So should you. So, to start, the DC Comics. Now, I have managed to get, when it comes to the DC Comics line, a grand total of 3 Steelbooks for the last couple of months. Now, to start off with, now this movie I have mentioned before in another video, and this movie also as a whole kind of introduced me to sort of like having a fan favourite towards both the hero and the villain. That is, of course, as soon as you hear me say the actors' names, you know exactly what movie I am talking about. Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson as, of course, in the 1989 movie Batman. Now, the Steelbook I have here, like I said before, I have shown this to you guys before. It is, of course, the Titan of Cult limited edition Steelbook. Now, I have obviously mentioned before that, yes, this Steelbook is obviously plain and simple artwork. But, of course, there was one thing that really got my attention to, obviously, wanting this Steelbook those many moons ago. And that was, obviously, what was in it. And the fact that it's also a limited edition, which means it's sold out everywhere. It's not going to be very possible to even get. So I was very, very lucky to obviously get this one. So obviously it says it contains the movie on 4K Ultra HD and Blu-ray. The collectible Steelbook case. Then these 2 other things that were included were what caught my eye. The unique Batarang pin, which you can see just there, which I honestly thought looked super cool when it came to, when I was looking at the photo of this, when this was out on Zavvi. And as well as that, the playing card replica of one of the Joker's favourite moments is obviously his playing card, the Joker one, which if I give this a little rattle, that's not the DVDs, I can tell you this now. That is the card inside the Steelbook. Now, obviously, as you can see on the back here as well, you've obviously got Batman and Joker, obviously when they are in the cathedral at the final battle. Now, as I mentioned before in the previous video when I did the unboxing of this, I obviously didn't get the chance to see this movie when it came out in 1989, because obviously this was back in 7 years ago, before I was even born. But obviously when I got the chance to obviously watch it, I was just absolutely amazed. And then obviously that got me into the likeness of obviously liking the Joker through all the other Batman movies. And the same thing with obviously with Michael Keaton as well. I was just so impressed with how things were made. And I think, yeah, you've obviously got your Heath Ledger, your Jared Leto, your Joaquin Phoenix, but it's also the case of, as well, you've just got these two legends that pretty much put the DC movie universe together, and it's just something that I think a lot of people are just not going to forget. So, next up on the DC line is another one of my favourite DC movies, and most of all, one of my favourite female villains. Now, she done the honours of obviously carrying the 2016 Suicide Squad movie, even though how bad it was, and also what's going to be the upcoming James Gunn version. And probably another one of my favourite actors, obviously I've seen her in the Wolf in Wall Street and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It is, of course, the legendary and the beautiful Margot Robbie in The Birds of Prey. Now, obviously I'm trying to make sure it doesn't reflect towards the light, but as you can see Harley Quinn, obviously just leaning down, upside down on top of the police car, as you do, with probably holding in her hands one of the most probably mouth-watering moments in this movie's history, which is, of course, the egg sandwich. Now, obviously, if you guys haven't seen this movie, when you do, pay attention to what obviously Harley is narrating when it comes to the egg sandwich in this movie, because oh my word, I was literally, my mouth was watering, because I love egg sandwiches, like without a doubt, and I would love to actually make another version of this just because of how tasty it looks. I know a few other YouTubers have done it, especially with Binging with Babish. They obviously did a recipe towards that, and I would obviously love to do the honours of potentially trying to make it the same way as well, which would be great. Who knows, might do a video towards it. We'll have to wait and see. Now, the last of the DC Universe movie collection that I've had so far is another one of my all-time favourite movies. It's got two of my favourite actors, both horror related. Obviously you've got Patrick Wilson and Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Now this movie, when I first saw it, I thought was just brutal, was absolutely brilliant. Yes, it was a little bit difficult to understand at first, but it kind of made sense after the movie had finished. You know, as going through, that seems to be the case with a few movies nowadays. It is, of course, one of my favourites, The Watchmen Blu-ray Steelbook. Now, I was lucky enough to obviously get this on eBay. Now, obviously, just the front cover design on here, I honestly thought was the one thing that caught my eye on towards it. I mean, it's just so eye-catching with the fact that you obviously see Dr. Manhattan, you've obviously got Rorschach, you've got Patrick Wilson as Night Owl, and obviously you've got right at the end, one of my other all-time favourite actors, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, as the comedian. Now, like I said, obviously this was a little bit confusing at first, towards the whole idea of obviously how this movie was kind of progressing onwards, but I kind of managed to get under it eventually. And yeah, obviously I can say this now, if you guys haven't seen the movie, give it a watch. And if you get the chance to obviously get this, because this is also a limited edition, please do the honours of getting it when you can, okay? Because they're obviously going to sell out soon. Now, on to one of my favourite comic film series of all time, Marvel. Now, I do feel a little bit disappointed because obviously in the last video, I had about maybe 3 or 4 Steelbooks that were Marvel related. However, with this one, sadly, I only managed to get half that amount, so obviously 2. But these 2 were very good pulls, both ironically enough from the CEX store in Norwich, which I honestly thought was absolutely fantastic, with the case of obviously me being able to obviously get these. And as soon as I saw the cover, I just fell in love with them. So to start off with, obviously going back, as I was talking about in the DC line, favourite villains, you've also got heroes, you've also got anti-heroes. Now, this one is probably another one of my favourite Marvel movies, and a lot of people did give this one a lot of hate. Now, you can probably guess when it comes towards this all, you could say it was a deal to the devil when it came to when I watched this movie and I liked it. It is, of course, the one and only Ghost Rider. Obviously it's not sealed, sadly, because obviously, like I said, I did get this from CEX, but this will be going into a plastic covering. It is still in its good condition, but can I just point out the amazing artwork of the front of this Steelbook? And of course, Nicolas Cage, one of my favourite actors of all time. I loved him in National Treasure. I loved him when he played Big Daddy in Kick-Ass. I loved him when he also played one of the characters in the next Steelbook that I'm about to show you after this one. And also, one other thing I fell in love with this Steelbook, just look at the artwork of this back side of this beauty. And of course, this is one of the artworks of one of my favourite scenes of the movie, which is, of course, when we obviously witness Carter Slade and Johnny Blaze going off to, obviously, the tombs of Sam Finganza to obviously face Blackheart, and obviously, before he obviously gets the souls that he was promised, which honestly I thought was one of the most exhilarating battles that I've probably seen in old Marvel movie history, alongside obviously Spider-Man, of course. Speaking of Spider-Man, is of course the next Steelbook I obviously am here to show you, which is obviously the grand finale of that. So I recently gave this a watch, probably a good couple of years ago after it was released. I've been meaning to obviously watch this for years, because obviously I'm a massive fan of Spider-Man and also all the other characters in the Spider-Man universe, as I mentioned in one of my other videos that I reacted to, one of the trailers. But it is, of course, one of my new favourites, and honestly, the soundtrack as well, I thought in this movie was great. It is, of course, the Into the Spider-Verse Steelbook. Now, again, like the Ghost Rider one, I got this from CEX as well, and I was very lucky to obviously get my hands on this, because obviously this is one of the most amazing Steelbooks I've ever seen before. Yes, it may look fairly simple and plain, but also a lot of people do like that sort of thing, you know, because I mean, even the simple artwork I mean, you can just see there Miles Morales in his Spider-Man suit, just obviously looking at you, well, you guys in the camera, obviously just lunging like he's ready to go kick some ass. And then this is probably what also made me fall in love with this Steelbook. The back. Now, of course, it is the infamous spray painted symbol that Miles obviously puts on his suit in the movie. And I think if you guys have also seen the movie, you can definitely agree which part was the favourite scene of a lifetime. It is, of course, when we see Miles in that suit and he's obviously going upside down with slow motion, and then the music goes straight into obviously how the sort of like, it gives you goosebumps. Honestly, it just gives you insane goosebumps. How obviously you see this boy gets bit by a spider, has no idea what to do. He obviously meets like different versions of himself, and then he pretty much questions how does he know when he's going to be Spider-Man. And then you just see that moment where he pushes off that building and he's literally falling. You see upside down as the sort of like landscape of the city is there, and he's just there. And then it's just a case of it just goes into action, and wow, I mean getting goosebumps now just even talking about the scene, because I honestly thought one of the most amazing moments in Spider-Man movie history. And very, very good job to the animators as well, because honestly, this movie was spot on. And now for the scary, spooky movie parts of my collection. Now, I'm going to show you two because these are actually a 2-movie collection. Now, these 2 movies are probably one of my favourite scary movies of all time. And as well as that, probably as well, did really great from obviously how the original turned out towards it all. It is, of course, when it comes towards any sort of scary movie, it is, of course, Stephen King's It, Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. Now, I'll show you Chapter 1 first. Now, obviously, you got to see this design just looks so insane. I mean, you obviously see, Georgie being the little boy there in his yellow coat, and obviously you see in the sort of like in the shadow there, you obviously see Pennywise, obviously towards the tunnel, and then obviously on the back you then see the infamous boat that is seen at the beginning of the movie, obviously swanning down the flooded road in the rain. Now, again, another CEX pull when it came towards it. Again, wasn't sealed, sadly. But as soon as I saw the cover towards all this, I was like, that's it. I needed to make sure this was in my collection. Because I swear, this movie as a whole, even the other one as well, it just blew me away. Honestly, it blew me away with this movie series. Because, I mean, I saw the original movie with Tim Curry and obviously all the rest of the kids. And yeah, it was good for the original, but I honestly don't think it beat the punch compared to the new versions. Because honestly, I really, really was a massive fan of these two compared to the original. And I think a lot of people would probably disagree and say the original was actually better. But I, as a public opinionated person, thought that these two were absolutely insane. Now, onwards to Chapter 2. Now, this one I thought was also very good. I think the only letdown with this one was, obviously, you've obviously got one half of Pennywise here, and then obviously you've then got the other half here. Now, obviously, again, this isn't sealed, so I can actually open it up. But obviously, when you see that, it's like, it's great and all, but with that bit in the middle, it kind of slightly ruins it a fair bit. But again, I really did love this movie. Obviously, with the fact that the kids are now grown ups, as you can obviously see down there, you can obviously see Billy and all the rest of the gang, or the Losers Club. Then obviously you just see the Pennywise clown there, and then obviously on the back you can obviously see the kids down there with obviously the balloons and everything like that. But again, these two movies were insane and dark, and that's one thing I really love towards obviously having a sort of like movie experience towards scary horror sort of thing. And obviously being Stephen King, one of my favourite horror writers of all time. Now, another one of my favourite horrors, and of course one of my favourite horror writers of all time, it is of course the 35th anniversary edition of John Carpenter's Halloween. Now, I haven't seen this movie for so long, and I honestly swear the last time I saw it, I thought I was going to end up regretting it at first, but honestly, I was so intrigued by it. And obviously, as you can see Michael Myers' blade there with obviously the Halloween, the jack-o'-lantern, and then obviously on the back, the big man himself, Michael Myers, just looking menacing as always. Now, obviously, like I said, I haven't seen this movie in so long, so I don't exactly remember that much of the details of the movie, but all I can say was I am definitely wanting to watch this movie again, even the other Halloween series as well, because I do really need to catch up on the rest of these series because I love them without a doubt. Now, on to the action movies. Now, there was quite a lot. I managed to get a grand total of 4 action-packed movie steelbooks. Now, this one I managed to get in the post courtesy of my good friend Slayer Reviews. It is, of course, I've managed to get my hands on the second version in my other steelbook video, but of course it is the first Godzilla movie. Now, as a whole, because my good friend, as I said before, Slayer Review, he was the one that got me into the Monsterverse series, and I do thank him for that. Massive thumbs up towards him. However, I think the one thing I wasn't really a fan of was this movie. Now, the reason why I wasn't that much of a fan, it wasn't because of the fight scenes between Godzilla and obviously towards it all. It was more or less the case of there was not that much of him. We normally just saw a lot of the humans compared to obviously King of the Monsters and obviously Kong Skull Island and also Godzilla vs. Kong. This one, obviously, we saw half of probably what was the potential idea of the movie, where we saw just humans, and then the rest was just the action-packed scenes of what we were looking for. Now, don't get me wrong. Do not get me wrong. The human act, obviously, the guys that played, obviously, the humans, you've obviously got Aaron Taylor Johnson, who also plays Kick-Ass and also Quicksilver, the Marvel series, and also Elizabeth Olsen, who also plays, ironically, the sister Scarlet Witch in the Marvel series, which I honestly thought was a little bit strange, seeing as the fact that you go from brother and sister in one movie or series, and then obviously you've then got husband, then you've got obviously the other side being lovers in the next. It's just, honestly, it was just kind of weird to kind of process at first, but I managed to get in towards it in the end. Now, one of my next favourite action movies. Obviously, I would love to get my hands on the full set, but I managed to get myself from CEX, and also in very good condition, the Terminator Salvation Blu-ray Steelbook. Now, as I say before, this was in very, very good condition. As you can see, it's more or less the destroyed city where you have to deal with, where obviously you get to see Kyle and also the survivors. And when it came towards it all, I did like this movie. I really did. But obviously it doesn't have anything, it didn't have Arnie in it that much, and that was the reason why it was great, but it wasn't like Terminator, Judgment Day, obviously the trilogy. But yeah, as a whole, I did like the look of this Steelbook, and I think there was one other thing that really, really got my attention, was the back. Once again, you get the T800 linked up and ready to be built. And at that point in time, I was like, yeah, the survivors are going to be completely boned at this point. Now, another CEX exclusive. Now, this one was the Zavi exclusive edition of this. And I was also very, very lucky to pick this one up, because I did like this one compared to the second version of this. I will honestly admit I did like this one compared to the second version of this movie. It is, of course, with the big man himself, the most amazing person who I would probably love to meet at this point, Gerard Butler. It is, of course, as well. And not just that, another Zack Snyder movie which I was born to love. 300. Now, again, sadly, not sealed. But, again, it does look a little bit simple. But to be fair, with the fact that with some of the sort of like Zack Snyder movies, that I have kind of had the sort of like audacity to obviously have a look at with the designs, it does seem that it's kind of like becoming a thing where obviously a Zack Snyder movie is going to end up looking kind of simple and dull. But I mean, the design here, I will even disagree with anyone. I love the design here. I mean, obviously you've got Gerard Butler obviously going off to war, obviously where his soldiers should be alongside him. But again, I loved the movie. Like, seriously, straight down, I loved the movie when it came to all the brutality fight scenes, even the legendary This Is Sparta kick, and honestly, just everything was just so on point, like most of the Zack Snyder movie franchise. I just absolutely love this one the most. Now, this one was kind of a surprise, because I've actually had this one without even knowing it was a Steelbook, courtesy of my own mother. Now, obviously, she didn't know this was a Steelbook. It is, of course, and I mean, even looking at it now, having probably a good number of my favourite actors in this movie. I haven't seen it yet, and I really, really would like to. It is, of course, with Gary Oldman, Tom Hardy, the late John Hurt, God rest his soul, Toby Jones, Mark Strong, and Benedict Cumberbatch, who also, as you know, plays Doctor Strange in the Marvel movies. It is, of course, Tinker Tailor's Soldier Spy. Now, I've heard really, really good things about this movie, and this is one of the reasons why I really would like to obviously give it a watch, because I have heard that obviously it does get a little bit of time to get used to, but obviously the storyline is absolutely phenomenal. Honestly, I would love to do the honours of meeting a fair few of these actors one day, because, like I said, I love Gary Oldman as Sirius Black in the Harry Potter movies, and also as well as Detective Gordon in the Christopher Nolan Batman series. I obviously liked Colin Firth as Harry in the Kingsman movies. Tom Hardy speaks for itself. Massive fan of him when it came to him playing Venom, and also when he was in Inception and Lawless, and as well as that as Bane as well. Like, honestly, one of the most incredible acting careers has got to be going up towards Tom Hardy. John Hurt, obviously, me being a bit of a Doctor Who fan, I don't know if you've seen in my other previous videos. He obviously played the War Doctor, and also Mr. Ollivander in the Harry Potter series. Toby Jones, obviously, he played as one of the Hydra specialists. Mark Strong, obviously, loved him as I think it was alright when he played Sinestro in Green Lantern. I also liked him in a few of the other movies as well, in Kick-Ass, as well as obviously Mr. D'Amico, and a few other acting careers that he's done as well. And obviously, like I said, Benedict Cumberbatch, the big man himself, obviously playing as Doctor Strange. Absolutely loved him, and also I like him as well as Sherlock in the TV series too. Either way, and anyway, let's crack on to the final Steelbook, and probably one of the most amazing ones I've ever picked on my eyes. Now, the grand finale of the Steelbook collection. Now, this one, I would probably end up saying this was sci-fi comedy, and the reason why, you'll know straight away, it is of course one of my favourite movies that contains two of my favourite British actors, of course Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, and one of my favourite American actors being Seth Rogen. It is of course the legendary Paul. The probably one of the most funniest movies I've probably seen with them for some time, probably since through the Cornetto trilogy, and as well as that, Paul, Seth Rogen, who voices Paul, absolutely brilliant acting as always, and the storyline I thought was absolutely amazing. And obviously, as you can just see there, is the big man himself, Paul, and luckily enough, I actually got this only yesterday, and I managed to, luckily enough, win this in a bidding war on eBay. And I was so happy when I actually managed to be one of the lucky ones to get it. But yeah, honestly, if you guys haven't seen this movie, I recommend you give this a watch, because honestly, you will laugh your socks off if you like that whole sci-fi comedy sort of thing. Honestly, I obviously saw this in cinema, and probably at this point in time, I had to end up trying my best not to laugh through the rest of the day, because that was just probably one of the most incredible moments of my life. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the video. That was my grand Steelbook collection. I hope you enjoyed witnessing every single one that I managed to pull over the last couple of months. Now, I've got a little competition for you guys, because obviously for the last few months, I have obviously mentioned in my videos all the love and support that you guys have given me have been great. Now, I want to do the honours of giving something back to you guys. Now, obviously, as you know, I have been going out, obviously, for the last few months now, obviously, pulling Steelbooks off the shelves, obviously, getting them as much as I possibly can from my collection. Now, the winner for this competition that I am obviously putting towards you guys will not only just receive a massive shout out to their channel, and also, if I haven't done so already, a subscribe towards you, and as well as that, I'll also do the honours of giving you a Steelbook that I will be getting the next time I'm on one of my next Steelbook hunts. and I will do the honours of personally handing them to you from your door or by post. Now, this video that I'm going to be doing is obviously going to be a Steelbook unboxing video of one legendary Steelbook. Now, apart from these people that are exempt from this competition because they know what the Steelbook is already, Slayer Reviews, Cascade Gaming, Steph Games, Silver D Fang, and Alpha Aaron. Those 5 people are not allowed to be a part of this competition because of the fact that they already know already. It's not because obviously I have nothing against them. Now, I want to obviously do the honours of seeing my comment section down below explode with guesses. So please do the honours of commenting down what you think this next Steelbook I'm going to be unboxing is going to be. And whoever wins, I will honestly do the honours of giving you out one shout out and one Steelbook of your choice, hand delivered to your door or posted to your door. You have until Sunday at 7 p.m, which is when the video is going to be out, and I will be doing the honours of announcing the winner of the competition and obviously who's going to be obviously winning the Steelbook and the shout out for you guys. Anyway, hope you enjoy the video. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe to your friends and family as well. And as well as that, please don't forget, if you haven't done so already, to click that amazing notifications button to obviously be notified towards new videos on towards this channel. And as well as that, if you haven't done so already, I've got a Twitter account towards this channel and also an Instagram account towards this channel as well. My Twitter channel account is of course at Smithboi with a letter R. That is at capital S, lowercase rest with a capital R. And then also with my Instagram, you've got the all in lowercase Smithboi lowercase reviews. Please do the honours of giving them a follow, and as well as that, please also do the honours of also following my other good friends that I have mentioned in this video tonight as well, which is of course Slayer Reviews, Silver D Fang, Alpha Aaron, Cascade Gaming and Steph Games. Some of them have got Twitch accounts, some of them obviously don't have YouTube accounts, so also please do the honours of finding their channels on there and give them a like and follow and all the love that you give to me. Until then guys, I'll see you guys soon in the next video. Good luck towards everyone that wants to take part in this competition. I'm looking forward to seeing who guesses the right answer. And till then, I'll see you guys later. Peace.